At 6:42 a.m. on Tuesday, March 12, 2019, a fixed-lens security camera mounted above the side entrance of 1149 Alder Court records a quiet suburban street in Northbridge, Oregon. The frame shows a row of similar two-story homes, lawns trimmed, porch lights still on. A silver sedan passes at 6:44 a.m., heading east. At 6:46 a.m., a man in a navy windbreaker steps into frame, pauses, and looks down the street. He carries a reusable grocery bag in his left hand. He adjusts the strap of a smartwatch on his right wrist. He checks his phone. He turns toward the side door and knocks once, softly. There is no visible response. At 6:48 a.m., the same man walks back out of frame. The timestamp remains steady. The street returns to stillness. At 7:03 a.m., a doorbell camera across the street records a woman leaving her house with a travel mug. She locks the door. She does not look toward 1149. At 7:18 a.m., a delivery van stops briefly at the corner. At 7:31 a.m., a dog walker passes, earbuds in, hood up against the cold. At 7:58 a.m., a different camera, inside the living room of 1149 Alder Court, records a motion alert. The camera faces the front door. The image shows a shadow moving across the floor. The camera does not record sound. At 8:11 a.m., a neighbor's dash cam captures a black pickup truck idling at the curb for 47 seconds. The driver remains inside. The truck pulls away at 8:12 a.m. At 8:19 a.m., a phone records a voicemail. The caller ID reads unknown. The message lasts 6 seconds. There is breathing, then silence. At 9:04 a.m., the same Navy windbreaker appears again on the side entrance camera. The man is empty-handed. He knocks harder this time. He waits. He presses his ear to the door. He steps back and raises his phone. He dials. He waits. He knocks again. At 9:07 a.m., he turns toward the camera and waves, as if acknowledging its presence. He smiles briefly. He then walks toward the front of the house. At 9:13 a.m., a 911 call is placed from a phone registered to a neighboring address. The caller reports signs of a break-in at 1149 Alder Court. The caller says the homeowner is not answering. The caller says he is worried. At 9:21 a.m., patrol units are dispatched. At 9:36 a.m., officers enter the residence through the front door. The door frame shows damage consistent with forced entry. Inside, the house appears orderly. Furniture is intact. There is no sign of ransacking. In the upstairs bedroom, officers find the body of 41-year-old Elena Morales. She is lying on her right side near the foot of the bed. There are no defensive wounds. The time of death will later be ruled as asphyxiation. The time of death is estimated between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. This is the last time Elena Morales is seen alive. The discovery begins with the neighbor's call. The caller is identified as Daniel Kessler, age 44, who lives at 1147 Alder Court, directly next door. He meets officers on the sidewalk. He wears the same Navy windbreaker seen earlier. He appears calm. He answers questions. He offers his phone. He offers to contact the victim's family. He says he last spoke to Elena 2 nights earlier, around 8:15 p.m., when she asked him to take in a package if it arrived while she was at work. Police secure the scene. Crime scene technicians photograph the house. There is no sign of random theft. Jewelry remains in plain sight. Electronics are untouched. Cash sits in a bowl on the kitchen counter. A laptop is open on the dining table. The screen shows a spreadsheet with dates and figures. A heading reads, Trust Account Overview. At 11:02 a.m., detectives canvass the street. Daniel Kessler walks with them. He points out cameras.
He mentions the dog walker. He remembers the black pickup truck. He provides times without being asked. He says he has lived next to Elena for 6 years. He describes her as private, organized, careful. At 12:40 p.m., an anonymous tip comes in through the non-emergency line. The caller reports seeing someone enter Elena's house early that morning using a side entrance. The caller does not give a name. The caller hangs up. By 2:15 p.m., investigators determined the crime was not random. There is no sign of forced entry at the side door. The lock shows no damage. The front door damage appears staged. The upstairs bedroom window is closed and locked. The house alarm is disarmed at 6:38 a.m. using the correct code. The timeline narrows. Months earlier, Elena Morales lived a routine life. She worked as a senior paralegal at a mid-sized firm in downtown Northbridge. Her hours were consistent. She left home at 7:20 a.m. She returned around 6:10 p.m. She walked the same route every evening. She shopped on Sundays. She kept detailed lists. She paid bills early. Elena was divorced. The divorce finalized in 2016. There were no children. Her parents lived out of state. She spoke with her mother every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Phone records confirm this pattern. She had a small circle of friends. She hosted dinner once a month. She did not date publicly. Daniel Kessler moved into 1147 Alder Court in 2013. He worked as an independent financial consultant. He often worked from home. He volunteered with the neighborhood association. He organized block cleanups. He fixed fences. He watched houses when neighbors traveled. He knew schedules. Elena and Daniel met within weeks of his move-in. He helped her jump-start her car one morning. They spoke briefly. Over time, the interactions became routine. He took in packages. He shoveled her walkway when it snowed. He watered plants when she was away. He attended the same neighborhood events. There were no reported disputes. In 2018, Elena's financial situation changed. Her aunt passed away in July of that year. Elena was named the primary beneficiary of a family trust valued at approximately $1.2 million. The trust included a condition. Funds would be released in stages over 5 years. The trustee was a regional bank. The trust required annual reviews and documentation. Elena mentioned the inheritance to a few people. Phone messages indicate she told her mother. She told one coworker. She also told Daniel. The conversation occurred on August 14, 2018, at 6:47 p.m., according to a text message sent by Elena that evening. The message reads, "Thanks again for listening. It's a lot to..."
In the months that followed, Daniel's involvement increased. He offered advice. He reviewed documents. He explained tax implications. He suggested restructuring the trust to allow earlier access to funds. He recommended a legal strategy. He said he had helped others do the same. Elena did not act immediately. She asked questions. She requested second opinions. She scheduled a meeting with an attorney outside her firm. That meeting took place on February 28, 2019. Notes from the meeting indicate caution. The attorney advised against changes. The attorney warned of penalties. On March 4, 2019, Elena received a letter from the bank managing the trust. The letter stated that any attempt to alter the trust structure would trigger a review and could delay distributions. The letter referenced a recent inquiry made on Elena's behalf. Phone records show a call between Elena and Daniel at 9:12 p.m. that night. The call lasts 12 minutes. There is no recording. On March 7, 2019, Elena updates her will. She names a charitable foundation as the primary beneficiary of her estate in the event of her death. She removes any informal advisors. The will is notarized at 3:18 p.m.
On March 8, 2019, Daniel transfers $2,500 from his personal account to a prepaid debit card. The card is activated the same day. In the planning phase, movements become precise. Daniel accesses Elena's house alarm system remotely on March 9th at 10:02 a.m., using credentials she had shared months earlier for emergencies. The access is logged. He does not change settings, he simply views the dashboard. On March 10th, he purchases zip ties, work gloves, and a replacement door latch at a